Hello, Internet. It's time for another Wednesday's cereal. Let's talk some comics. Okay guys, because my energy wasn't there and I was recording most of this, but I don't want to re-record because I got in all my good points. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it if I re-record. I'm just going to intro this with the enthusiasm that this week deserves. This is one of the best weeks in comics in your life. Okay, so, freaking Daredevil is incredible. This might be the most important issue of comics Mark Waid has ever written from a social standpoint. With the whole feminism thing going on, this is bigger than any of the books trying to blow that out of proportion. Oh my god, if that's your thing, read this week's issue. Bruh. Oh my god, Spider-Verse, freaking amazing, playing up and doing stuff with Superior. Blah, blah, blah. Awesome. Spider-Gwen was really cool. I'll talk about that. It was worth it. Basically, one of the worst things about that book is the title. Chew is awesome. There's freaking Gummy Tinks and Shiz and Poyo and Hell, and how can you not forget? Who's not reading that book? People who are wrong. That's who. And then Low, yeah. Ninja Turtles. Oh my god, that's the one book I really didn't explain well enough. So it basically doesn't have the turtles in it at all. It's still awesome because Shredder and Krang fight. It's like pa-cha, and then Krang goes and deals with Baxter's upheaval thing, and then and then Shredder's like, beat Barbara Rock he killed Until, and you're like, what? And then, oh my god, the Mutanimals leave Splinter behind when he's fighting Cry, and you're like, what? Best thing, oh my god. And then the Mutanimals fall right after that, and that's its own spin-off. It's amazing. Militant animal rights group. How can you not? It is just, it's a total spin-off. Try it out. The art isn't the best, but it's good, and it's different. It'll make you appreciate stuff, and it's better than another fucking Batman book. But Batman was really interesting this week. Endgame is the best issue of Batman we've had since 0 years started. It really plays on the idea. I'm really not sure how I feel about them playing up Joker as a mythological creature, because throughout the years, Joker has just been kind of like a crazy criminal you can't predict. And with that, they've gotten a lot of play in a lot of different ways, and I feel going past that means you really should almost be using a different character, but at the same time, I'm enjoying them exploring a new idea, so, nah. And then Beternal continues. Future's End continues and continues well. Oh my gosh, guys, just this week is incredible, but when I get to the end of the video, you're going to see why I was kind of down, but that was outside of comics, but in some ways a lot closer to me, but oh my god, guys. Hey, let's start with Marvel. Daredevil 13. Man, it's hard for me to believe it's been a year since, Matt Murdock moved coasts. It's kind of crazy. And this issue feels like we're in the thick of it now. I don't know. This has a lot of play. If you've been following any of the Spider Chicks or you're looking for some female representation in comics, I feel like you should read this issue. And honestly, you could read this issue alone. 13. Go pick it up. This does a play on the superhero girlfriend thing in a way just straight on. There's some great lines in here with the girlfriend talking about how she has her own supervillain now, and how Daredevil should dare explain it away, and just flipping the tables on him because he's overprotective, and flipping and seeing what it's like on the other foot. And it's really kind of brilliant, and it's kind of fun, and it's good to see that, and it's the kind of awareness I think a comic need to kind of come out and say. And I'll be honest, having finished this issue, I think my sense of gender politics might have shifted just slightly. Like, this was a big issue, and I think it's honestly a really important one, and more so than pretty much anything else is going to be. Crap, I honestly meant to do Marvel in one block, but you know what? This is the Spider block, so it's separate from Daredevil, so it's okay. So first up, least exciting, and yet that's because this was a good week, was Spider-Man and the X-Men 3. This is just a freaking fun comic. You get a play of the Chameleon and Mojo doing stuff together, which was like slightly alluded to, and then kind of wrapped up in this issue, and at the end of this issue we get a like little bit of a play for what could be coming in the future, and it just moved. This was a third issue of a new Marvel comic that was like a full frickin' thing. This comic is incredible, because if Marvel wants me to be paying $3.99 for a comic, they need to be like this. This wasn't the best, this wasn't the brightest, but it was more than good enough, and it was a complete thing. And next month I'm not going to be wondering, and this is a complete product for $4. And for that, it's only $4. Great. Okay, cool. This isn't the best thing you'd be picking up, and if you're on the fence, it may not be worth it for you. But, man, if Marvel could be doing more of this, and they'd be on target. Then, oh my god, Spider-Verse ends. I thought it already ended, but we had the epilogue issue. I should have known, and I loved the crap out of this. And what's really interesting is this kind of takes and explains a lot more of the motivation for the ending of Superior. This reached back and made an awkward transition that I wasn't too big of a fan of, and gave it more meaning, made it work better. And so if you're a fan of Superior, you know, you gotta go through this. But honestly, Spider-Verse, if you've ever liked Spider-Man, Spider-Verse is worth picking up, and it's its own thing. Like, there's the Edge of the Spider-Verse lead-in, great. But Spider-Verse is, I think, just going to be one of those comic things that people are going to keep mining. First of all, because it was a damn fun story. Second of all, as far as, like, because multiverse sort of stories always seem to come up if they're, you know, like miniseries arc sort of things, like your Crisis or your, Blackest Night in a way was kind of like that, because Directing from the Dead, not quite multiverse, but it's one of those moments where a whole nest of what this character and what this title has been through the ages kind of coalesce into this one moment, and you can kind of get a bit from the entire legacy. And those kinds of comics people mine in this internet age, because they make for a lot of weird articles, and they make for a lot of interesting fan theories, and for that, people will be coming back to this, which may not be the most interesting reason now, but it'll definitely mean if you've read it, you might get a little more out of it than you would some other comics. But the one comic that I believe most people are interested to hear about, and I just had to pick up because I've been hearing, because some people don't have jobs, apparently. I didn't when I started. Not like this. Talking comics, people are liking SpiderGwen, and I see why. I did flip through this. The art is really up my alley. It's not your standard Marvel fare. The gutters are really thin, but it creates this kind of look. There's oh my god, the way the art is done. Robbie Rodriguez with Rico Renese on color, and you really have to give it to the colorist on this book. New York, in a way, feels like New York. It is a living, like, city. The lines are there. There's bits of graffiti. The way that the city is portrayed feels like New York to me. It's not this clean, frustrated city. It's dirty. There's all this there's definitely backgrounds in this comic. Oh my god, this doesn't honestly feel like a Marvel comic for the art alone. But oh my gosh, the story really moves, and it feels like it's part of a niche, part of this city. So Spider-Girl has all these things moving around her. Spider-Girl, Spider-Gwen. I want to say Spider-Girl because I've that's one of my two complaints about this book. So I overall, yes, this book is really interesting and I want to dig in more. I do not like the title Spider-Gwen personally, but I understand 100% why they used it. This is a comic that came out because I feel like when they started the Spider-Verse stuff, they were kind of maybe seeing like, if you know, the internet really responds to anything, we probably should give that, whatever that is, a shot. And it was Spider-Gwen. People love Spider-Gwen. And it was a good issue. And I wasn't sure if that was going to translate to more of an ongoing thing now that we're here. But this has moved forward, and I think it's working because this is the new Ultimate Universe in a way. This is not 616. Spider-Gwen is her own book. This is its own story, which is great. As long as that can last, probably for the better. Because that means each issue can just be taken on its own merit and you don't have to worry about the whole wide whatever, which makes this a really great book to kind of push on people because you don't have to worry about the normal pressures of handing them a Marvel book and hoping that they can just figure it the fuck out. It's really strong. The characters already feel alive. Like in one issue, I feel like there's more character development for some side characters than you get for main characters in certain other books. Like if you were to stack this against the most recent, like Batgirl, much more alive, completely different vibe, because this isn't like, oh my god, social media, but she uses the phone. It's there, it's present, but it's not like, hey kids, you like the Twitters, right? It's natural, it's organic. It's just better composed. And really impressive comic. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Anyways, I think Spider-Gwen is just a bad title. That's where I was. Yes. I do. I see why they're using it because it blew up and people liked it. The other thing I'm not so hot on this book is there is a lot of name dropping from the Marvel Universe. So like Foggy Nelson is here as a mayor's assistant, and there's no reason for that to be Foggy Nelson. It's not that I necessarily mind, like I think it can be fun to kind of like see if you put a character in a different role and whatnot, but I didn't get really anything of Foggy there. It was just kind of a white guy in a suit doing whatever, and they obviously made him look like Foggy, but unless they do something more with that, it's just kind of like, why not just make it a different guy? It would have felt a little more natural. There's also a Frank Castle in here that is not the Punisher at all, but definitely creepy, but we'll see if that ties in more again later as well. But it would just be kind of cool if they kind of took that idea and gave them their own name, because that way you're not drawing these weird associations. Just the way they're playing it, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of it, but by no way would it make me say that you should avoid this book. I just think it's one element that the book could have been better if they went without that. That's all. So yeah, I'm really astounded. I highly would recommend this. Personally, I'm going to have to think about it because I want to pick it up, but I'm not sure I want to be picking up a $3.99 book necessarily. So I'll figure it out, but yeah, good stuff. And now for the Turtles block. TMNT 43. Man, if you're not reading this, look, you just need to start at issue 1, read the 42 before this, and the numerous amount of micro-series, which makes it nearly 100 comics. Just catch up. I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of comics. But You can't name a better 100 comics in a solid row, can you? Can you? Some of you are, or you think you are, but you're wrong, because this is awesome. Anyways, the new thing is the Mutanimals. This is interesting. It's Paul Allor, who I'm kind of taking a liking to. He's doing some fun stuff, and he's able to fit some small moments in a really busy action comic, and I think it's great. Indy Kun is back, and I wasn't a huge fan. I feel like that's kind of the low point of the regular Turtles run, was his art when he was doing it, because he couldn't draw the Turtles right. But for some reason, these characters, he seems to have it down. I don't think it would be most people's take on the best art, but I think it's working in this comic. Maybe I don't know. But it works in this comic. Man. This is crazy. If you remember the Mutanimals from the 90s and the Archie run back when, that was kind of, you know, Earth Day crap. You know, we're gonna save the planet by caring. Captain Planet-esque whatever. This is a militant bunch of mutants looking for a war and finding one with Null Industries. We have the introduction kind of with the mutant man we're gonna see. Fleshing out these characters is really interesting. This plays right off the pages of 43, so it's going to be interesting. And this is the first Turtles side book that, honest to God, is a side book. If you just wanted to read this separately, you totally can. In a way, they should have just had Mutanimals be the title and kind of nix the Turtles thing. It's a fun book, and this is totally a spin-off. So if you're looking for something different, this isn't super different, but it's a fun book. There you be. Alright, call me Hayes, because it's time for some Gotham gabbing. Eternal 47, Beternal. We're moving on a bit. The art, to me, looked like it was different, but it was all apparently one team. We're kind of getting back on route here. We're kind of past the going all over the place, and now we're coming back to... We're coming back to Gotham. Things are focused. The team's kind of all on one goal now. And so now it feels like we have the title, we kind of frayed, but now the threads are together. And I feel like the last leg of this is going to be a tighter and better book than this book has been for months, which is painful because it's weekly. But I'm really excited to see this kind of pulled together, and if this does, it's going to redeem the entire title in a big way. And I think this might turn out to be one of the better weeklies DC's put out. So I'm hoping, really hoping things come together. At least this isn't a, you know, Trinity or anything. This is worth pulling through in my mind. But the bigger news, and the book that I was kind of curious to see, Batman 39, where what I believe, if I'm to believe what I'm reading, is the penultimate chapter of Endgame. And it's the strongest chapter yet of this arc, and that's good, because this is the best issue of Batman there has been in a long time, since one of the previous bit with the Joker, frankly. And I'm curious to see that pull through. They're doing some interesting things with the Joker that you would have thought maybe would have played in with Zero Year in a way, but in truth, it looks like that's not such a big deal. And we're making the Joker more of a mythological figure in one way or another. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays, but also that might be going past this next issue. So we'll see, but I'm really excited to see at least this arc come to an end. Once Endgame's done, it's going to be really interesting to see where Batman goes. There's a little bit in here, and I'm hoping we really do revisit the Court of the Owls. There's even a tiny bit of Talon in here, which was a book I kind of forgot about from the New 52, and I'm hoping that plays a bigger bit too. I'm going to be interested to see this, and I do love me some Joker stories, but I do also feel like this book needs to get past the Joker in a lot of ways. So, yeah. Futures End 43. Holy crikey, this book managed to A, reverse the Mr. Terrific thing that I was hating from the last two issues, and then, oh my god, up the ante. My god, DaCosta, you have to read this book, because there's some magical Drake moments in here that I think would reform you. Also, oh my gosh, Batman Beyond, I kind of put it together. Batman Beyond is like all of the Robins crammed together. He has like all the attitude of Todd. He has the lover boy side of Dick. He has the technical whatnot of Drake. And he's just damn good. He's just that way in this book. Man, this was very Bat-centric as far as Future's End go. But there's even a little bit of Superman. We're playing in a lot of the side casts in there. I'm really hoping Constantine comes back in this book just a little bit more, because that's been one of the strongest bits of this entire run. So this is really building, but this is really coming to a climax. I'm really hoping this just runs and finishes strong, as I've been saying, but there's no indication it won't. So, yahoo! Low 6 is all of sexy humanity plunging into its deepest, darkest depths. I don't know. I'm gonna have to parse through this book a bit later. There's a lot going on, and didn't quite float to the surface for me. But Chew 46. Oh man, this we get a break between Chew and Colby, and it's going to be interesting. Yeah, that plays out. Meanwhile, there's a gummy tank and peppermint mesmerization. It's going to be really interesting to see. And we're getting more Poyo in the depths of hell, which could very well be some of the greatest comic pages to come about in years. So look forward to that. Okay, outside of comics, there's been some YouTube stuff going around that I wanted to the end of my video for people who make it. So there's one guy who targeted a few people, women in the community, and he seems like, by and large, people have been getting along with him up till this point, and he just ran his mouth on something he really shouldn't have, because he should have frickin' known better. But he was an asshole once, and oh my god, an asshole on the internet? Whatever, man. There's been a couple of people who agree with him to a point. A lot of it comes down to, should women show skin at all? Look, we're all adults here, and frankly, even if you're not, oh my god, the children! Look, if people want to find porn on the internet, they'll find it a lot easier than they'll find our videos. So it's like a non-issue anymore. I don't know. It's stupid. It's ridiculous, and someone was stupid, and there's been a lot of fervor, emotions have run high, and frankly, not worth it. That guy's not worth it. Whatever. Maybe he'll come around and he'll be doing some good stuff in the future. Who knows? People can turn a new leaf. realize when they're wrong and move on. It happens. Unlike me, I wouldn't really know because I don't make mistakes. So, yeah. But more important than that, what's really hitting me hard this week is Damien Sleepy Reader is saying he's going on a hiatus again, and I get we all have ebbs and flows, but there hasn't been anyone who's connected with me on the level that Sleepy Reader has through this whole thing. We talk a lot. I honestly don't think I value anyone's opinion more. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's great. Love all you guys, but Damien's we've kind of made a bit more of a connection, at least in my mind. He's friends with everyone, so it doesn't really matter either way. But I'm really going to miss his videos. I'm going to miss his input, and before he left, he drops us with one of the best videos he's made ever, talking about how he's been kind of forced to reevaluate Barbie and that whole thing, and how it's kind of akin to comic book culture, and how we would like people to reevaluate their opinion on that. And it kind of opened my eyes to maybe more than just that, but it was good stuff. And I get it, he needs to take a break, but I'm hoping he comes back soon, because honestly, this whole thing without Sleepy Reader, I don't know how long I might go without Damien after a while, because I can tell you for a couple months, God, now it's probably a few years ago, it wasn't even necessarily hello internet. It basically could have just been hello Damien, because that felt like the only person who was watching my videos, the only person who cared, and it was enough to make the videos. So I don't know, I'm gonna miss you while you're gone, man. So for the rest of you, big shoes to fill, and I'll catch y'all soon with another comic review.